Hello, hello, Daniel Grimmett here. Welcome to the Make a Living Producing YouTube channel, a place where I make crappy drawings and you learn how to build a successful music production company. Now, what we're going to talk about today is an important topic. We are going to talk about qualifying our clients. Now, most of the content we put out there is to qualify ourselves, right? To show potential clients why we're qualified to work with them. But what we don't think about as often is we also need to be qualifying our clients. Are they a fit for us? Are they our ideal client? Are we, attracting a higher quality client that we're going to enjoy working with? Now, for some of you, that might sound a little crazy because you're like, well, I'll take anything. I'll do whatever, comes my way. And the issue with that is it prevents us from reaching our income potential, because if we're just taking anything and everything, we're going to get burned out. You may be busy, you may make money. I've been in that camp where I was just taking anything and everything, but it was miserable. My business was running me, I wasn't running it. It's way better to take, 4 clients a month that pay you $2,000 and you enjoy working with them. They're a qualified client than, the alternative, taking a dozen or a couple of dozen $200 projects, because each client, each project, it's the same amount of work, right? So you might as well get paid more and work with clients that you want to work with. So I have a couple of tips that we can do here on our websites. A lot of people just treat their website as a billboard. It's got a pretty picture of them and, a list of services, maybe a music player, a form, but our website can do much, much more. So after we've gotten, clients or potential clients, traffic, if you will, to our website, there's some tips I have to qualify our clients or potential clients. Okay. There's 4 of them. So the first one is this. You want to be clear, okay? Be clear on what you're about, what it is you do, and how you can help them. Because if it doesn't say anything, most of the time it's just like a little biography or something about you. And you just look like every other producer out there. I talk to a lot of, producers daily when I do my free strategy calls for people who are applying to be in my program. And I ask them, why do you think clients choose you? Why do people choose you? And outside of things like, quality, or they choose them for their sound, it's typically experience-based things like, well, I'm good at bringing out their best ideas, or I can, I hold their hand throughout the process, or I can educate them throughout the process. And what I tell them is, I was like, all those things are great, but that's not why clients are choosing you necessarily. They won't know that stuff until they actually work with you, right? So I asked them, does it say that on your website? They always say no, and I'm just here like, oh, come on. It's got to say that kind of stuff. We have to be clear about what we're about, because we want people to, we want to attract people that value that. We only want to talk to people that value those things, because that is what's going to get their minds off of price and more on, value and what results we can bring them. So that's number 1. Number 2 is we want to be careful about, what kind of verbiage we use, right? Most of us have some kind of form on our site where they can click and give us some information about themselves. And my tips for this is, don't use words like, quote, or estimate, or like request pricing, for 2 reasons. One, to me, it sounds kind of cheap. Like they're not hiring us to paint their house or to put in a driveway, quote and estimate. That's it. it leads, the second reason is it puts them in the mind frame of price, right? They're clicking this button so they can find out your price. And that's not where we want their head to be when they reach out to us. We want to lead with solutions, results, value, not price or services. Now, if you have the only time I would think this would be okay would maybe if you have like a lower price service that you do, maybe a quote makes sense. But in general, we're music producers, so we're doing higher investment projects in most cases, bigger projects, and the quote and estimation and pricing just sounds cheap. So I'd stay away from using those terms, and I'll give you a couple of alternatives to that. Now, number 3 is an important one. A lot of people don't do this. Again, they just put a website up that's essentially a billboard. And since I work with music producers in the online space, attracting clients online and doing remote work for them, just because I think that's where the money is, our website is very important. It can't just be a billboard with a picture and a form and a music player. It can do so much more than that. It's our job to kind of show up as a leader and guide that potential client through our website in a way that educates them about what we do. And each step of the way, we're qualifying them. And once they get to the end, they should have a feeling of, wow, that was a different experience. I fully understand what this person is about. I'm excited to reach out to them. And you'll notice that the selling part of it is pretty much done. At that point, you just get on the phone and, build a little relationship with them and get the money stuff out of the way and start working. So number 3 is we have to guide them. We have to put them through a process that qualifies them. So I'll give you kind of an example. Let's say you got a website here, and typically at some point on the website, we have, a button where they can click to go to a form. Maybe it says, work with me or project planner, or like learn more about my process, or like start a project, whatever it says, just not quote or, pin died. Okay. Anyway, just not quote or estimate or, pricing or anything like that. Okay. So what we want to do with that button, instead of it going straight to a form, we want to qualify them a little deeper. Because if we just have a button or the forms embedded on our homepage, anybody and everybody can just go and fill it out, and then you're going to have to sort through and see who's qualified and get on the phone with them and waste a lot of time. If we make ourselves too accessible, then it comes off as cheap. We want to control the process. We want to, qualify them and say, here's what you need to know before you even reach out to me. And if by the end of it, I'm your guy or I'm your girl, let's do this. Let's hop on a call and chat. But the ones that are just, tire kickers or cheap, they're not even going to go through the process. They're just going around filling out everybody's form, trying to find the cheapest price. We want to get rid of those people. So they click a button, takes them to a page, kind of a buyer education page. Maybe you have a video at the top, dives in a little bit more, describing your process, what you can do for them. Now at this point, maybe you list, services or step by step. We don't even need to go into services that deep over here, because most of the people, a high quality client, they don't care. They're coming to, they're looking for a result. So if they just see, I can produce for you, then I can mix for you, then I can tack on mastering, and I can tack on promotion, I can tack on this. They're just looking like, oh gosh, sounds expensive, sounds like a lot of things. It just sounds like you're trying to sell them a bunch of stuff. And I've noticed that they care less about the services. They want to know, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I need to make a great song because I'm trying to get more Spotify streams to generate income. How can you help me do that? They don't care about the individual services. So we don't need to even lead with that. Let's get them through some buyer education. Then at some point we can introduce the process once they've gone a little deeper. Now, then at the bottom, you would of course have some kind of button to set up a call. Like, hey, let's do a call together. No pressure. I just want to talk to you, but we can talk about your music, see where you're at, and if I feel like I can help, then I'll offer a game plan, and you can decide whether you want to be a part of that or not. Low pressure, and because on that call, they'll sell themselves. That'll be another lesson. But so this button here goes to finally your form. Okay. So they start here, homepage, click a button to, work with you or learn more about your process or start a project. Takes them to a buyer education page, videos. They could see what you're about. We want to make sure they value that. Then go a little deeper into the process, maybe step by step, introduce some services, then the final call to action. At that point, if they've gone through that, you know that who you're about to get on the phone with, they know everything you need them to know before they get on that phone. It saves you time. And for the most part, by this point, when they're clicking this button to go to your form and set up a call with you or a Skype with you, they're sold. They're like, okay, this sounds really good. I'm really interested in this. Okay. So that's 3. The last one, number 4, we'll talk about this form here. People call it different things. I like to call it a project planner. But there's different ways to say it, because that's what we're doing. It's not just a contact form. It's not a quote form. We're planning a project together. It sounds more high end. So the thing about this is we have to ask questions, right? I know a lot of people are into the idea of, make it as easy as possible, just a couple of things they have to fill out so that they can do it quickly. But I actually find the opposite approach to be better for a couple of reasons. I like to dig down and really ask deeper questions. And for, again, a couple of reasons. The reasons are, one, if they can't take the time to fill out, 8 to 10 questions about something that they are going to invest a lot of time and money into, then they're not the fit in my eyes. They're not a fit. If they can't take the time out of their day, the 15 minutes to really think about what it is they want and fill that out and let you know so that you can be prepared for their call and you can already have some ideas prepped, then they're not worth taking on as a client. Okay. So I like to ask deeper questions than just your basic name, email, budget, how many songs, submit the form. You know what I mean? There's deeper things that we can ask. What are they trying to accomplish with it? What have they achieved in the past? What issues have they been having with their music? I want to know all that stuff before I get on a call with them. Okay, so that is my 4 little tips on that. Again, just to recap, we don't just qualify ourselves, we also have to qualify our clients. And I have a little download guide in the description. It's a little PDF, couple pages. It's on buyer education and just has some tips on there that you can add to your website and some do's and don'ts and things. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.